Hold up. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Give me a few moments. Hopefully everything's being sent and everything's good. Woo! It's going to be another bad month for me. How's everyone going? All right. Woo! All right, let me get to the screen. Welcome to the office hours, ladies and gentlemen. This is a live stream, so that's why it kind of takes a while for it to boot in. All right, let's get to. Let's get to the office, shall we? Hello and welcome to the office hours. My name is Paul Berserker01 Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the AstroPub. Your space bar at the end of the galaxy. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We got a good one for you. How y'all doing? I'm glad you got it, Doc. They're good. Like, I had one today. Like, it was pretty good. And you're gonna have a great month, I hope. We're kind of coming towards the end of the month, and I mean, there's a couple good things. My obligations for this NDA are kicking my ass. That's all. Not really obligations. It's just stuff that I feel obligated to do because of it. Not to do with Star Citizen stuff. And as a result, and because of work as well, I just haven't been doing a lot of stuff, so. So this one Gladiator didn't make it the ship showdown. There's no point, Alex. There's no point in trying to push it. There's like, it wouldn't have gone in because the people don't care about it. If it's not like the hype train, like, I can't push anything. People think I'm like some sort of maniacal genius, but CIG has already proven that they don't like fun. So generally speaking, I'm not interested in Ship Showdown. I will be interested in Ship Showdown if my viewers are interested in Ship Showdown. That's about it. Because generally speaking, I don't care what a bunch of rich people argue about how they can get skins. Because that's what it is. Someone once told me, someone on the captain's table we talked about it said, "Well, you guys aren't talking about a contest. You're talking about a ship skin like distribution system." I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. That's how this is supposed to be. It's not a popularity contest because I'll give you an example. This is an anime fan for anime fans, and I'll give a film reference as well. Everyone says that. Or if you look at my anime list, and this is just kind of a thing about anime, that Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is the best anime ever made. It's not. It's good. It's got a lot of fans, and it's so good that I don't think anyone complains about it being at the top of the list. But there's no way the best, animation quality or storytelling or anything else like that. It's kind of like how people will say Citizen Kane or The Godfather are the best movies ever made. They're not. But because everyone assumes it is. It's popular and popular enough to be also obscure a little bit here and there. That sort of thing. And I'm not here to shit on those movies or shit on people's opinions on those. But it's the same kind of thing. Like, is the Carrack the best ship in the game? No. Does it do a lot? Yeah. And but it also costs $600 to buy. So I don't care about this contest, which is designed to drive engagement, which CIG admits it's designed to drive engagement when they're in a lull period. That's all it is. Hey, C Daddy. I dream of a day when the characters does a lot and just another and not just another cargo ship for now. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Like, the reality is that the Carrack has less value than the Prospector. I'd argue it has less value than the Aurora. The only thing it has value is that it can respawn. That's it. And I think it's the only ship that has respawn? Or is there another ship that has respawn? I can't remember. Oh, the 890 has respawn. Hey, the prisoner. It does a lot in the sense that it's, if you want a multi-crew ship that has a lot of help for like mitigating bugs and also has sells the dream of Star Citizen, it's the Carrack. All of those are a matter of personal opinion. Each person is going to have a different one. Two people might agree on one thing completely different than somebody else. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But M. Walker, you're missing my point. My point is that the reason why those kind of media franchises are so well regarded is because as a society or as a group, like movie nerds and anime nerds are agreed on that. Even though, like, it does, those don't necessarily have the best categories of everything. They're not like objectively the best. And that's kind of the same thing when it comes to like a silly little contest about ships, which is just like, who cares? It's all it is a skin distribution system. Eddie Polite. Redeemer looks like it's going to beat the Scorp ahead by around 600 votes. I mean, the fact that the Redeemer has made it to the top list every year is a testament to the poor class, the poor taste of the Star Citizen community. You disappoint me, Star Citizen community. You disappoint me. I haven't. We haven't talked about anything. I've just been complaining about Ship Showdown. That's all I've been doing for 10 minutes. We'll get to here shortly. Hey, don't blame me. I don't vote. Yeah, that's the best way of doing it. If it makes you feel better, I hope I don't want the Redeemer to get a skin. I'm still looking forward to engineering. I am too. We're kind of in a weird position right now. Again, like, I don't want to destroy my reputation as I got a fucking gift from the gods when it came to like getting a review copy of Starfield, and I don't want to fucking ruin it, but it's hard for me to pay attention as a result to Star Citizen stuff. So Redeemer's gonna win Best in Show because C Daddy rigged it. Confirmed. Am I going to the convention? Probably not. To CitizenCon. It's not just money. Money is a thing, but it's going to cost me about like $2,000 to go. And on top of that, there's a lot of other things at home and other factors like work and other things that I have to kind of deal with. And I don't want to like spend time to do that. I don't have the money and I don't have the time. So it's not really a review. It's just that like since I got it, I've been so focused on doing that because I've never gotten something like this before. So like my time and energy has been devoted to that because like you know the like the meme of John Travolta where he's just like with the coats. That's me right now. I'm like, I have too many obligations and I'm just dropping things left and right. Because it just came out of fucking left field and hit me in the face. Like, what the fuck happened? I do too. I would go to CitizenCon. I have a ticket. Like, I bought a ticket. I was planning on going, but as we got closer and closer, it's just like I don't know. I've got other things I gotta do, and then other things have come up, and I looked at the actual. I started sitting down and doing the actual money cost. I'm like, ooh. Travolta in what is it called? In Pulp Fiction. Travolta in Pulp Fiction. That's what it is. I'm glad you got the you gave me the welcome back Cotter joke though. You could have also said Grease. Thank you, Palia. Apparently Palia gave me a code to get to the game. I just realized that. That's great. Saturday Night Fever, another good reference. So, this was on the Leaks Discord. Horseshack from Welcome Back, Cotter. Paul, I have 2 relatives going to SitCon from Japan. Damn. Damn. That's pretty impressive. Poop Fiction? Yes. Oh no, someone said Poop Fiction. LA is scary? No, I mean, I grew up in San Francisco. I've been to LA multiple times in my life. I was at CitizenCon LA in 2016. It honestly is a situation where it's like, I'm at a point in my life where I have to start figuring things out for me. That also involves how much time and energy I spend on stuff like this, because cards on the table, y'all, I don't make a lot of money from this. And it actually kind of breaks even when it comes down to it, because I got to pay a lot of taxes for stuff. And so it ends up being worse than a part-time job in terms of pay, but I enjoy it, and it's a nice way of kind of paying for things here and there. But I got to start thinking about how much time and energy I invest into it, and how much time and energy I invest in other things in my life, and so it's just a balancing act. And trying to take off several days in October to go to a 2-day event, which I'm going to be exhausted from, and then coming back is I'm asking a lot, especially when I have a family. So it's and then also basically having to go into debt for it, because it's going to be 2K, USD for me to do it, and I'm a teacher, so Yeah, that's just what it is. Thank you for them biddies, there, the prisoner. I'll add 1 cent per hour. Thank you. But yeah, let's get over some of the leaks. So this was stuff in the, I'm not going to show it necessarily because there's really not a lot to show, but there is something that is, there's something to be said about the, about this stuff being added because, of other mentions in the monthly reports. There's definitely something that's speeding up. So everyone was talking about the leak, which I'll show here because I think it's funny. This was posted in the leaks Discord, but it was also let's see if I can't blow it up a little bit. There we go. That's the HUD for the whole sea. It also expands, yes. This is where I since Luna Maria's in chat as well. This is where I mentioned. Did you know that Japan has an entire festival dedicated to penises? Apparently. That's that festival is where MISC was founded, since it's Space Japan, because all of their ships are penises. All of their ships are just penises. I've seen the penis festival. Yeah, I mean, it checks out. No, it's just because you said you had relatives from Japan coming over to CitizenCon. I'm just like, MISC. MISC. At least it has protection. Now we just need some curiously tentacled spaceships, and we're all good to go. I think we hit most of the jokes on the internet. That or a walker that looks like the Butthole Demon. That looks like a dude who's walking around with like his hands on his cheeks and spread open, but instead of a butt, there's just an eye. God, fucking Japanese Oni are fucking off the wall crazy. They're almost as crazy as German demons. There's some fucking weird shit. I love it. But I mean, think about it. How many MISC ships are just penises? Like the Freelancer, obviously. The Whole Sea, obviously. The Starfarer is just a chode. It's just the Great American Challenge. Let's frick. What are some of the other MISC ships that I'm thinking about? There's just a very pointy penis when it comes to the Razor, which is technically Mirai, so it's a little different. The Prospector is a penis. Max is a penis, yes. Something, Step Fury, what are you doing? Embrace the penis inner hype. You know it to be true. No, the Reliant is a Xi'an penis because it's using Xi'an technology, Darsh. It's just a Xi'an penis. I mean, you want to go even further? Look at the size of the Endeavor or the Odyssey. They're all penises. We're talking about how all MISC ships are dicks, and not like a derogatory way of saying like they're assholes. I'm saying like they're just penises. Hey, listen, I stand by that quote, Darsh. FYI takes place in the same place every year. It isn't a Japanese celebration. No, that's what I'm saying. Like it takes place in like the one town. What I was joking about it was like it's like we know where the founders of MISC came from in Japan. It's from that one place in Japan. Because all their ships are dicks. It's also appropriate because of the amount of because this is supposedly space Rome, and the amount of penises that decorate everything in Roman cities was just way too much. There's just penises everywhere. Escape, you're coming in at the weirdest time, but 1:58 a.m. That's weird. There's no ISC today. Was that announced that there was not going to be an ISC today? I imagine there wasn't because they were going to be at they're at Gamescom, so I imagine that's a thing that we're not doing. In southern Japan, I'm sure it's like a very specific town or prefecture or something like that. It's kind of like you know, people are talking about like the different festivals in like Oregon or whatever that have weird stuff. It's like that's that kind of thing. I mean, like, again, do I have to show this again? It even has a little mushroom tip. It was announced on both ISC and SCL. Darsh, did you miss the part in the very beginning of the show where I said I haven't been paying attention to Star Citizen really much at all? I thought that was new MISC lore. No, it's just me making a joke about how all MISC ships are penises. I was talking to Hey It's Nick, who apparently also doesn't pay attention. Stop playing BG3. Listen, Darsh, stop telling us not to have fun, okay? He's restarted. He's no longer wandering the Underdark, getting his ass kicked. Level 10 is no bad, is like a pretty big deal, since I think the level cap for 5e is 20. So 15, 12. Oh, damn. all right, so like that was the fun leak, but the other leak was that there was Mobiglas V2. Its code showed up in the leak. So we've got button up, close 1, completion, error, execution, loading 01, load up 01, open, rollover, sub button, home, heartbeat stable, home, heartbeat vital, logs, search cancel, logs, search confirm, logs, sub button up, messages, mark as read, messages, switch message, personal status, radiation, home, notification, go to app. So it looks like they already added radiation, which was something they talked about in the monthly reports, to the Mobiglas in anticipation of probably radiation damage, which should be coming in with both the engineering gameplay and pyro, which I'm sure Night Cobb will very much enjoy. I'm sure Night Cobb will definitely enjoy the fact that his job is following into his hobbies. Yay, I can be irradiated in space. To be fair, I'm sure there's plenty of nuke engineers who play Star Citizen who are just like, yes, let's see how realistic my hair falling out's going to be. The other thing is Starmap. So, Mobiglas V2 has Starmap as well. Starmap search autopan 1, Starmap search autopan 2, Starmap search autopan 3, button 1, button 2, button 3, cancel, confirm, search MM, select planet, radial pulse. It also has search zoom horizontal pan velocity, search zoom velocity, search zoom vertical pan velocity, yaw velocity, pitch velocity, and pitch. I'm guessing, and this is just a wild ass guess, I could be wrong. They did say that they were taking a lot of inspiration from the star map that was the award-winning, I keep bringing that up, award-winning star map that was made by Turbulent and their partners, who are now making the some of the other stuff. Hold on. Lost it. There we go. That they're taking a lot of inspiration for that, and I'm fairly certain that that's what we're going to look at, and I think that's a good place to go, at least for inspiration. But it'll be hard to tell. Radial pulse. So yeah, radial pulse. It could be scanning, but there's nothing that says anything about scanning. The thing is that the star map actually the star map on the website actually has the star will actually pulse very, very occasionally to kind of highlight some of the planets and stuff like that to give you some kind of background like information. Yes, so that's what I'm talking about is the star map leaked in code. It's in the code, which was in the PTU, which means that it is being added to the game. So it's important to talk about. The other thing that was my favorite thing that nobody else really cares about, well, I'm sure there's a couple people who are watching right now who care, which is the Galactipedia. So there's been repeated messages or mentions that the Galactipedia has started to be added to Squadron 42 in your Mobiglas. So it looks like that process is either done or is nearing completion because it is now also coming with Mobiglas V2 with Galactipedia. They've got the tag name Galactipedia, category expanded, ignore collapse category, and that's it. But they have Galactipedia in there. They also have in-game notification options for privacy, so you can set privacy notifications. Yeah, so like, there's some cool shit they're doing with that sort of thing. So, I care, Lordy. Thank you, Aimless. Hey, Paul. Sorry if I got my order. Any tips on painting equipment? If you're a new painter, I'd pick up a painting kit of the kind of with colors and stuff like that. You can get a pretty cheap brushes to kind of mess with. The only thing I would suggest doing if you're painting it is make sure that your primer you're using is okay with resin. Make sure you follow the directions on the primer, and if you're using a rattle can primer, make sure you're doing it without a lot of humidity. I'd suggest not doing it inside. Doing it outside's good if they're not humid day. You can also do get crazy with airbrushes, but I wouldn't necessarily do that just for one-off model. But take your time, and as always, all new model painters will know, which is thin coats. Just do thin coats. Really thin out your paints so that they're nice and smooth, and then you can always add more paint as you go. You don't have to, but if you put too much paint on your model early on, it can be very hard to get it off. So just try to make nice and smooth, 2 thin coats. I saw it and immediately thought of me. What the Galactipedia. Will Mobiglas have X? I'm never calling it X. It's always going to be Twitter. Confirmed, skin glow looks very realistic. Radiation is my favorite. Happy R. Bob says, used to sleep over a nuclear reactor in my Navy days. Yeah, I was talking about the online star map, but this is actually in-game. These are the star map. What I'm saying is that the star map that's being added to the game, which the code is actually being showed up in some leaks, seems to have been. My guess is it's taking inspiration from that online star map, but. I did see Adam Savage building a 3D model for them starting Starship. That makes that's his bag though, so it makes sense. I was meaning to finish up my my Starfield timeline lore video, but I've just been busy with life, so I'm gonna spend some time today and right after this, write up this finish writing up the script, and I'll record it either tonight or tomorrow before I stream. Get that all done. It's gonna be pretty cool. Question: as a fellow smuggler, how cool would it be if every so often security has the junkyards and other selling spots staked out? I'd love that. I do want more intensive. I want smuggling to be more purposeful, more danger to it. But I also, if they're going to do more danger to it, they need to add more value to it. But we'll see. Do people we know from history or RL play a role in Star Citizen lore, except for Chris Roberts? Not really. The lore is almost entirely fictional people, because it's just easier to do it that way. Was there a subscription? Maybe I turned off my I think I turned off my alerts. That's why. Yeah, I turned off my alerts. Send alerts are off too. I don't know why. Sorry about that, Drycon. Thank you for that. Drycon for that 22 months. Alex the Droog, thank you for that 5 months. That's not how Night Cobb. I know it's not how it works. I'm just saying that we all look forward to seeing. I look forward to actual nuke engineers explaining why the radiation sickness in Star Citizen isn't realistic enough because you don't vomit enough. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so the Mobiglas code snippets have started being added to the game for the new Mobiglas version 2, which includes stuff for the Galactipedia, stuff for, the Mobiglas homepage, and of course the Starmap. So there's some pretty cool stuff. It's much easier with fictional lore. Imagine how it would be if Elon Musk was mentioned in the lore. Yeah, it could be complicated. Hey, Liveth, how you doing? Bro, hopefully I'll never find that shit out. Won't find me explaining the difference. It's all theory to me, and you want it to be like that. Hey, Sean, how you doing? No, it's not in 320. That's what I was going to kind of... Those leaks showed up, but I do wanted to like kind of really set people's expectations and say, no, I do not believe that these leaks mean that the Mobiglas V2 is in 320. I do believe it means that we're going to see Mobiglas V2 in action at CitizenCon. Almost assuredly, it's going to be a panel, or at least showed off during like a keynote or something, because it is one of the bigger features of the game. And in Star Citizen rather than in Squadron. And it could make it in 321, but I almost guarantee it will be a 4.0 feature whenever that comes out. Though my personal theory is that 4.0 is coming out like next year, like early next year, but we'll see more when at CitizenCon. They'll probably make more of an announcements. I'm good. Hanging out for another Salvatron. Nice. Happy Thursday. What's new? Not a lot, though there has been some nice leaks, which is good. So that's probably the hypest thing. I was trying to think about what I was going to talk about today. I was like, I don't remember anything. ISC is not out. SCL is not really that great. And then I was like, wait, the leaks. And I was like, yes, Galactipedia. More Galactipedia. Give me the lore. It's just one part, though. In truth, though, Elon Musk is kind of already... Listen, there's a difference between Silas Kerner and Elon Musk. Not much, but there is a difference. So, this is going to be probably a lot more Q&A than news discussion, because there's not a lot of news. But feel free to ask. Silas isn't crazy. No, but he is very rich. I wonder what the refining ice is all about, connected to engineering gameplay to refill oxygen. Oh, right, I forgot about that. That's also in the leaks. Adding ice for as a mineable. Almost certainly for, I think they even said it in the leaks that it's designed for hydrogen, for hydrogen refueling, for like hydrogen fuel as well as oxygen. Rich and sane is a good thing, but it's also, he's also a Kerner. Like, he might as well be the king of Bremen, because that's kind of, the Kerners have always been the leaders of the Bremen system, just by default, so. The C1 and Tumbrel are likely for 320. Yeah, I mean, but 320.1 would be the C1, so.
I'm just an old-fashioned cowboy.
Oh, it's A1, I think is what it is. Kerner lore, a tidbit. I get what you're saying there. I get the pun. Thank you there, the prisoner. I'm sure it was already mentioned, but it's just jumped in. No, we haven't talked about that, but I don't remember the C1 being definitely coming in 320.1. Both C1 was added to the release viewer. A1 is the, they're both spirits, but the A1 was the one that was added that I thought, not the C1. Though that might have been wrong. If that was changed recently, again, I don't know. If you're here, Jake, I'm sorry, I forgot about this. Roadmap Roundup. Release view. C1 Spirit out for Alpha 320.x and Tumbrel Storm. Okay, yeah, there we go. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. At 1 a.m. Oh, right, because they're in Europe. He's in Germany. By the way, new community manager, fun fact, for Star Citizen, Jake said apparently they worked with the Baldur's Gate team before working with Star Citizen. So welcome. You went from one crazy community to another crazy community. Welcome. No, it's apparently in the 320.x release, so. The C1. So that was the notable thing from yesterday. Do you think they'll change the look and feel of the Galactipedian game, or is it already written that way? I think it's kind of written that way. I imagine they'll change a little bit of the effects around it, but I can't imagine it changing too much. It really depends on how they do the current the Mobiglas, the new Mobiglas, and how that effects will work. So. What do you mean that you pissed at them for lying to me, to you? I don't know anything about BG3 because BG has never been a series that I was super invested in, so. Galactipedia is a dictionary, so it is what it is. It's a wiki. It's really what it is, but. Wait, who worked with Larian Studios before coming to CIG? What's their current position? They're currently a community manager. They just got hired recently. They also worked with Paradox Interactive, Tableau, and ZeniMax. So they have experience, obviously, in they're also a Twitch partner, so pretty cool. They're mostly I think they're French community manager now, so. Is there some drama from Larian that I'm not heard of? They told me they're doing a Mac version, but they really weren't. Oh. Did I vote in the latest Ship Showdown? I'm not really voting in the Ship Showdown, so. Ah, well, I see. I guess we'll have to announce warm welcome to them. Yeah, Niku, or Nikau, Nicou is their handle. So, welcome. I already said hello. For those of you who don't know, there's a tradition that I started by accident. Well, I started doing because I thought it was funny, and then I just saw so many new people being hired by CIG, so I decided to make it a tradition. You know that GIF of Sheev Palpatine in Phantom Menace? When he walks up to Anakin Skywalker and he says, "We'll watch your career with great interest." Every time I find a CIG employee who's been hired on, because CIG employees will retweet and be like, "Hey, welcome," I just post that GIF. I'm just menacing like that, I guess. I judge CIG employees by how they react to that GIF. Yeah, they're definitely trying to kill the Terrapin because it's going up against the Carrack. I'm surprised the Cutlass Black made it on there. I swear to God, the Cutlass Black has always made it on to these lists somehow. That ship is the ship that doesn't die. You can shoot it, you can crush it, it's the Toyota Hilux of ships. It's just always, it never fucking stops. It just always comes back. Yeah, CIG. So CIG makes the brackets, and a lot of it is like, oh, I know what CIG wants to win. Putting the cutter for C890 is just weird. It's just a weird combination. No, that's what I mean. The black is there. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't die. It continues to come back onto that list for somehow. It's been on there like of the, I guess the 5th year this has been going on. Of the 5 years, it's been on there 3 times. The Cutlass Black has been on this list, I think maybe 4 times. It's been on this list more times than the Carrack, and it's won more times than the Carrack, I think. The Cutlass is fucking eternal.
You can take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers.
No pew-pews.
But you can never,
ever
take away my space game.
The first tasty just resubscribed for 28 months. Pub pipe, pub cheers, pub pipe.
Thank you so much, First Tasty, for that 28 months. You are a very important pupper, very impressive pisser, very new pedestrian. This is your fault. The reason why you're good night. Shots and cheers and chat, yo. Shots and cheers. I hate you, Guns and Glue, by the way. Oh. I will say it's been very funny to see all the Star Citizen content creators talking about Starfield, because they're all doing the same thing, and I'm gonna do the same thing, so be prepared for it. The video, which is like Starfield blows the hell out of Star Citizen, or like what was Dig's title? Starfield can do things that Star Citizen never can, and it's basically just similar to the comparison video that Tomato did, which is a little bit more like the thumbnail was a little bit more. Dig was doing the clickbait, which I approve. It's more of like he's more of a neutral party and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I gotta hit that algorithm. It's just been so hard for Star Citizen creators. Yeah, when the embargo drops, I will have a review for Starfield, a non-spoiler review for Starfield. 100% will happen. Hey, Forge, thank you so much for being a member. Starfield does what Star Citizen can't, releases a game. I've watched Tested build the film grade model of Starfield. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You can take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers.
No pew-pews.
But you can
never, ever
take away my space game.
_ just resubscribed for 10 months. Big 10 baby.
Thank you so much for that 10 months there, Foxtrot. You were very important, Pablo. Very impressive, Pisser. Very pedestrian. This is your fault. The reason we're drinking tonight. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Camerool. Oh, this is my surprised face. Camerool's did a video taking a shot at Star Citizen for something that isn't actually a thing. This is my surprised face. Just got the game and started ship downloaded the launcher. All checked out green. There's no launched game page. How can I fix this? Do you have the launcher up? How often do I wear that helmet to bed? Never. It's too uncomfortable, and it freaks Cam out. So that's not possible. Hey, how you doing there, X? Chris Bates, if you're having issues, you might want to go to the unofficial Star Citizen help desk on Spectrum. If you go to Spectrum, which is their community, so it's like their forums. Go to the website, you go to community, go to Spectrum, go to the chat. There's a chat that says help desk. That sounds like something I've heard of before, where like the launch game option doesn't show up on the launcher. Talk to them. I think they can fix that. That's a good question. Yeah. Chris Bates, did you get the game or just the ship? I imagine they got the game, but I'm watching them build it and my brain keeps putting Idris in place of the Starfield ship. It's definitely possible. So what chat is saying there, Chris, is if the launcher is up but no start game, just log out and log back in. I'm not. This isn't going to be a fuck Camerool stream because like he's another content creator. He's entitled to his own opinions. I don't agree with a lot of his opinions, but he does do a lot of in-game testing. He's always done a lot of in-game testing. He's very dedicated to it. But like a lot of those folks who do a lot of the math, they do the math. They're pretty salty. But a lot of those folks come out kind of salty, and Camerool is a little bit more of the opinion that Star Citizen isn't as fast as it should be, which is his own opinion. It's fine. I just think at times, just like him and like Grumpy, that they tend to go overboard on the negativity. Just, I don't know if they take it personally, almost. So that's why I didn't be like, oh, it's crap. I haven't seen this video, so I don't know what it is. But it's more of a, I'm not surprised that that's the title of his video. Haven't watched many streams lately. Just got finished playing Armored Core 6 for the night. I have yet to get Armored Core 6. I was planning on getting AC6, but then, you know, Bethesda did a thing. So. Inforunners, yes, it's NDA. Starfield is NDA. If you want to ask me if Star Citizen's good or Starfield's good enough, I'll tell you it's NDA. Very NDA, and then NDA, and NDA, and NDA, and NDA, and I don't want to lose my access. Stop asking me questions I can't answer until the 31st, X. Man, I found the video funny and accurate. How many versions of the tools do they need so they can release more content? I mean, the simple answer is they do release more content all the time and have increased the amount of content and missions and other aspects of the game, more ships and more variations on ground in the last 3 years than they've done in previous times. And there's been a steady increase in speed. It's just that the term that the kind of way that games are made often is move quick, break stuff. And a lot of that stuff is broken and doesn't get to the front because it doesn't work right. And so they go back and manipulate stuff. And they make a tool and they think it's cool and it works. And then they realize they need to do another tool to kind of make it a little bit easier. And as they put tools on tools on tools on tools, like some gigantic monstrosity, it eventually starts going, hey, this is pretty cool. Or it breaks everything and they have to go from the beginning. It's just, you can't build tools to make like critical tech. You can build tools to make stuff easier, but like I said, they have. We have more missions than we've ever had in the past, more locations than we've ever had in the past. We've had more ships. Like, there's shit tons of stuff that happens, but it's just not gonna happen. It's NDA. So how is Starfield? It's NDA. Yeah. Has Starfield got bugs? It's got NDA. For those who don't get it, I have a review copy of Starfield, and I can't really talk about it until the 31st. So NDA. I will have a day one, the moment the embargo drops, spoiler-free review of it. But yeah, that's the person who spoke very positively of the game and broke their NDA and lost their NDA because they made that comment. So I am definitely looking forward to be able to talk about it. Can I confirm that there are stars in Starfield? NDA. Actually, technically, I can anything that is publicly announced information, I can talk about. So yes, I can confirm that, but you can confirm that yourself. Does Starfield have sound? Yes. Are there fields in Starfield? NDA. Non-discourse agreement. I really need like one of those soundboards so I can just have the beeps. No, yeah, it's 9 a.m. CST on the 31st. That's when the video will drop. Sweet, I love games that have sound. That's awesome. You scored one of those. How much did you call out of work? I haven't, and I won't. Which is why everything else has been suffering, because I've been spending a lot of time that I have free time trying to get stuff for that review. So. Can it run on a Stream Deck? I don't know. And if I did, it would be NDA. Eminence, that's really close to NDA, so probably NDA. Damn, this is some lucky kids. Or I want to keep my time off. It's one of the reasons why I can't go to CitizenCon. Listen, all I'll say is, and this is not a specific thing about me playing it, just in general rule of thumb, wait until you see reviews come out before buying it. You can still get an early review copy, or your review copy, an early access copy of the game on September 1st. And since like the embargoes drop on the 1st, I'll be playing it on the 31st. I actually might want to, what day is that? That's a Thursday. I might actually want to call out on on the 31st and just stream it, because I'll be one of like, well, probably many people playing it, but I'll have to about Stalker 2 though. I didn't play the original Stalker. That's definitely one of those games I like to watch though. I can talk about Starfield. I just can't talk about Starfield. There's a difference, Luna Maria. Yeah, wait until the release to buy digital games. All I'll say is I have had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me questions, and I'm like, I know what CIG feels like now. Like, wait, was that announced yet? Was that talked about? I don't remember if it was talked about. I have to do research to figure out what was talked about and what wasn't talked about before I can tell anybody anything. Yeah, it's also on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, which I would definitely suggest getting just in general, you get it for free. I don't know if you get it on the first, though. I can't talk about that, Eminence. You do get it? Okay, thank you, Ashton. Wait, Firehawk says you get it on 6th of September. You can preload it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can play it. Hey, Death Trooper. Yeah. The game officially launches on the 6th, but the review embargo ends on the 31st, and the game actually early access. If you paid like the pre-order thing, you get an early access to it on the 1st. So, yeah, Starfield's on Game Pass. It's a Xbox exclusive. Well, Xbox exclusive. It's also on PC, but you know, same thing. Anything that's a Microsoft IP original. So, I did see a video from somebody say CIG marketing is actually smart, being so quiet while Starfield is dominating. I'd agree on that. I mean, there's just not a lot to talk about with Star Citizen right now. So being quiet until CitizenCon is a good idea. And CitizenCon is actually placed in a good position because CitizenCon will roll out the end of October. So a lot of the hype for Starfield will have run through its initial course by that time, probably for about a month, you know, like the first week of October. And there'll still be people playing it. But, you know, it's a Bethesda game. It's just kind of how that thing works. But when people, you know, have played through it a bunch of times or played through the campaign or the main mission storyline, or sort of worked out some of the characters and that sort of thing, they after that they'll start to look for more games like it, look for more interesting games, in the sense that like games in the same genre. And they'll find Star Citizen. It's always been my theory that, again, I'm a fervent believer that a rising tide floats all boats. And I think more games in the space genre is good for fans like us. Because I like Star Citizen, but I also liked Elite Dangerous until it got grindy. I enjoyed No Man's Sky for what it was. I'm a big fan of space games. So more space games is a good thing. Game Pass is pretty good. $9.99, you get access to like Minecraft for free. Or you get Minecraft with it. You get all of their originals. You get, I think you get like Fable, like all of the Halos. I want to say Age of Empires. There's a ton of indie games too. So like, if you like, there's a high likelihood if it's an older indie game that you've been meaning to play, but you haven't gotten around to it, they probably have it at the Xbox Game Pass. I think they should wait out the Starfield rush and then swoop in after everyone's got their first or second playthroughs and swoop into marketing to capitalize on that gateway drug effect. I think they will, because that's when, I mean, October, the end of October is when CitizenCon is, and that's going to be a huge marketing push for them, so. Yeah, I don't think the Game Pass people get early access, so. Hey, Anger PC Tech. I think you'd be allowed to talk about this. Some guy, if I recall correctly, is Tyrone, apparently stole a bunch of Starfield stuff and is selling it for $200. Got his account nuked by Microsoft. I haven't heard about that, so I can't talk about anything else that's you know, already marked my NDA, so. You gotta pay 35 buckaroos for premium to add it to Game Pass. But you have to pay $35 for it to add to Game Pass? I thought it was day one access. Was always a grind? Not early on. Back in my day, ED, you could grind through a lot of the ships and stuff like that fairly quickly before engineering came in. When engineering came in, then it became a nightmare, and I just dropped it after that. Yeah, Game Pass regular won't be playable to the 6th, yeah. Bets on Squadron 42 for holiday 2023 this year? No. 0%. Negative 10% bets. You're not seeing Squadron 42 this year. We might see Squadron 42 announcement for a beta or a release announcement for next year at CitizenCon this year. That would be my hope, is an announcement of Squadron 42's release date. But I don't think it's going to be a loose date, like autumn of 2024. Oh, so if you just have Game Pass, you get September 6th access, but if you pay $35, you get a premium upgrade, you get early access. Okay, yeah. Yeah, my thought is that we're still going to see a delay after the 2023 announcement, because CIG is always overambitious when it comes to their dates. And the other thing is, speaking of Starfield was delayed like at least once, if not twice. It was delayed a year after it was over a year after its initial announcement, if I remember correctly. Wasn't it like 11/11/22 or something like that? It was some like. It was like 21. I can't remember exactly. It was delayed after they had released a full date for the release. It's like every major game release has had a delay. That's just natural to happen. And I think that's what's going to happen with CIG is they're going to get, okay, we're pretty confident about this release date. And then they'll get like 6 months out, and they'll be like, we could really use another 6 months for polish. And then they'll do it again. Ain't Squadron 42 already like 7 years late? Oh, yeah. Cyberpunk, yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk should have been released this year. Well, last year. It was supposed to be 11/11/22. Okay. Paul, when ED first released, it took forever to earn enough money for endgame ships like Anaconda, and even longer to make enough for insurance to rebuy. I didn't experience that. I thought it was pretty easy. I don't remember it being that much of a grind. Yeah, I just remember when Engineers came out, I was just like, nope, I'm not spending that many hours to make a ship functional. What even is time anymore? To be fair, fucking days feel like decades, and years feel like seconds. I don't know what my brain is broken or something like that. Since 2020, my brain has been broken. I wish CIG would release a demo for Squadron just after CitizenCon. But that's zero chance of happening. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I personally would love to see the first mission, the introductory mission of Squadron 42 come out. Because I know what it is. And unlike them, unlike Bethesda, I didn't sign an NDA about that. But I think it would be cool as fuck to have that introductory mission. It would set up a lot of hype. It'd get a lot of people interested in the game. But I don't think it's going to happen. We just don't have that sort of thing anymore. ED got less grindy as it aged, and now you can buy any ship off a season, off a session or two of a deep core mining. Isn't Starfield an NDA? Yes, it is an NDA. Somebody signed an NDA, but it wasn't you. That's right. Yeah, I'm excited for the DLC of Cyberpunk 2077, but a bit annoyed that Phantom Liberty will just be the last major content addition to it. Is it? That sucks. Shh. So, C Daddy, what's the first mission of Squadron 42? Come on. You can tell us. Paul might as well have texted the screen saying Starfield NDA cannot talk. I can talk about anything that is publicly released about Starfield, but I just don't know every bit of information that's been publicly released. People think it's going to go beta, but isn't the whole point of Squadron 42 release to release it gold? No shot we get a glimpse of us paying it. No. We're not. There's no shot we're going to be playing playing the beta of Squadron 42. No, that's not going to happen. But beta is just the point in the development where it's no longer alpha, so they're polishing it. That like it's feature complete, but not content complete. So they've got all the features in. Now they just got to make sure that everything kind of flows right. It's fresh off the presses. This is an official announcement from CIG by CIG that Squadron 42's first mission was a dark and stormy night. There is a knock at your hab door. Do you answer the call? There we go. I saw some videos recently saying the reason Squadron 42 isn't out or even demo is because the three basic mechanics, FPS, flight combat, and social, still isn't nailed down. That's true. Because everything you see in Star Citizen is effectively what they have in Squadron 42. So they don't have things like the damage system isn't fully implemented yet. They do have a lot of the flight systems in for Squadron 42, but it's not fully dialed in yet. Like Squadron 42, as of the last couple of monthly reports, is drifting towards beta. Several parts of the game are in beta or beyond that. They're definitely in the last stretch from alpha to beta. But for those of you who don't know, beta is also a pain in the ass. Because once you get to beta, it's no longer about putting the things together. It's about making those things fun, engaging, different. Now, they do have an advantage because a lot of the features that they've added to Squadron 42 are already in Star Citizen, so they can use the feedback from players from Star Citizen to fix Squadron 42. And so there's definitely some benefits that other game devs don't have with that. But at the same time, there's bugs, there's storytelling beats. There's a lot of different things that they have to go back and kind of change around. Like Blizzard is pretty infamous for taking multiple years longer in beta than they do in alpha for a lot of their games because they really want to dial in the experience. So. Did the review copy come with any goodies, or was it just a digital code? I didn't get anything physical from them. But it's a copy of the game. It's not just like a review copy. It's like I have the game forever now unless they take it away from me. Which is why I shut the fuck up. Let's hope Squad 42 beta starts within a year. I think we'll see the start of beta by the end of this year for Squad 42. Quite honestly. Wasn't there something in the Kickstarter that people have backed the game in the day, get early access to it? No, it was that they get access to the DLC that they were planning for Squadron 42, which they were tentatively titling Behind Enemy Lines, and that changed into when Squad 42 went from being a single game to being 3 games. That changed to you getting access to the second game in the series, which is now tentatively titled Behind Enemy Lines, but that's probably going to change. So Squadron, you get that's all you got. So. When ED first released, having an Anaconda or Corvette were status symbols because they took so long to earn a few people had them. You watched an AW VSET player doc one. I missed that. I remember people getting those Anacondas really quickly, though. Maybe it's because I just saw people who no-lifed it. Definitely moving towards beta. The dev tracker says they're done with quests by the end of this year-ish, if I remember correctly. That's not totally untrue, but it's also I wouldn't 100% put that on a pedestal as 100% true, because the dev tracker just tracks what the work they're doing on. So the dev tracker is saying that they'll be finished with the current work that they're planning on doing before the end of the year. But then they may have more work that they'll plan after that gets done, so it's hard to tell. But there has been multiple monthly reports this year mentioning polishing of major features, moving on to many ancillary features, which seem to be you wouldn't want to focus on that unless you had nothing else to do kind of thing, like collectibles and other things. We know reshoots are beginning to happen with major actors coming into studios and like mocap studios to do some pickup shots and reshoots, which you don't do unless you've already got a full list of like a shot list of what you need to do for those sorts of things. So that indicates that they're finished with the initial like cinematic stuff. They mentioned that they just straight up said that animations is moving to beta work. It was just last month was just animations is moving to beta work. Boom, beginning of the fucking animations team. Like, okay, they're in beta now. So animations in beta. Everybody else has been kind of tiptoeing around that by saying, we're working on polishing this and polishing that. So portions of the game are finished in a state that they just need to kind of tune it up. But beta? What's that? I don't know that word. Will our old starter pack include Squadron 42 Part 2 and 3? If you got it early enough, it would consider Part 2. Part 1 and Part 2, but not Part 3. Where are the Starmap leaks? Please, I need, they will cure my cancer. It's nothing big. It's just code has been added for the Starmap. The Starmap in Mobiglas version 2 that's been found in the files. That's all it is. So it's a good sign, which means that they're migrating some of the work they did in Squadron into Star Citizen, but it's not... We don't see, there's no visuals yet. Will you still be around for Squad 42 Part 2? I don't know. I hope so. I don't know when that's coming though. Beta is generally a fairly quick phase. It depends on the company. Some companies spend a lot of time with beta because they really want to work out the kinks and the bugs and really kind of dial in the experience. And other people just kind of like beta is usually pretty quick, but it really depends on the game. It depends on the company's policies. There's a lot of different factors because game development is not a science in the sense that it's not a unified, everyone has like a very specific ideas of what's going. Everyone kind of approaches it in a different way. So. Well, I'll tell you if you have part 2 in your list. It's called Mission Disc. Yeah, that's what it's called. How many floppy disks for Squadron 42 Part 2? 42. Exactly. Any idea what color the ship showdown skins will be? Not a clue. Not this year. I don't think there's been a leaks for that yet. Will we all be around is the real question? I don't know. Like, I'm fairly certain that we're in the final stretches for Squadron 42. And that, like, a year, maybe 2, is when Squadron 42 is going to come out, because CIG is a fucking amazingly large as a studio and still hiring a lot of people. Like, it is just gigantic in terms of the numbers of employees it has. And I know CIG is pretty infamous for not paying like really well, but they're not like slave labor prices that they're paying people. They're paying people pretty good money. So it's just not like a lot of the benefits that CIG employees get are more in the time off, work from home, the benefits from terms of like health benefits, and like leave options, and like there's lots of really cool shit that they give people, which, you know, kind of offsets the like average pay. So Chris Roberts equals quick said no one ever. Maybe Sandy did at one point. But sorry. I had to make the joke. I had to make the joke there, X. I had to do it. It's a joke. No, Bishop, no. That's asking for you to get timed out. What colors do you want to see your Redeemer in? You bastards. You're gonna try to like carry the Redeemer through just to force me to have a skin. Benefits of CIG is good working environment. I've heard pretty good things about it. Like everyone I know because I've known a lot of people who were fans of Star Citizen, who I consider friends before they worked at Star Citizen, who are now working at CIG. Many of them now for multiple years, and they've had nothing but good things to say. So. C Daddy CIG works for CIG, says he has no complaints with the benefits. Yeah, Pilot was one of the people I talked with because he worked here at Austin. I talked with him about it. He likes it. Then there's Eric. Eric will be happy as long as he is touching the databases and ensuring Proxys is there to ensure that the universe exists. If he could hack himself into the game servers to continue to work, he would, because that man is insane. He's the guy. So for those of you who don't know the legend of Proxys, Limecat himself, he was a super mod. He was the Q-Pan of his era of Star Citizen, where he was in every single Star Citizen streamer's mod, as a mod in every single Star Citizen streamer. He was a pretty big, he worked in software development. I think he worked for banks or something like that. But he got hired to work for CIG, and he is now basically like the man keeping the back end from dying. He not like the game back end, I mean like every back end. And the few times I've been able to talk with him out of Star Citizen context, he has still been working. We were bowling. It was Buster the Destroyer, myself, the few, a couple CIG employees, including Eric. We were bowling, and he was still doing a freaking meeting in the middle of our bowling. He was like, dude, put the Star Citizen away. We're bowling, my dude. Get some beer, get some food, and we're bowling. Director of Platform Operations, yeah. Yeah, he did a deploy while getting a COVID shot, yeah. He keeps the server handle single-handedly holding up the internet. It feels like that sometimes. C Daddy works with him, so I've commiserated many times. C Daddy can confirm. I have asked many times on the stream and off stream, being like, "Is Eric sleeping? Please tell me he is sleeping. Please tell me he's taking like a day off to just sit in a chair and not do work." I think we had an old promotion for JREC points if you do an unboxing videos. Huh. Good. It still means he's not gonna be sleeping. Single point of failure equals bad. Recently, there have been people who have been hired on to help Eric so he can take days off. He just doesn't want to take days off. Like, he can take days off. He can like take a week. I'm sure Eric could take, well, maybe more than a week. It'd probably a problem for him, but he could take some days off. He just chooses not to. To give you the context there, Raphael. CIG says they do regression testing. They do regression testing with players all the time, let alone QA. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. He took some time off long ago and was a good boy and stayed offline. Yes. Yeesh, Eric sounds like he needs to take a week off. It's not, the thing is that Eric is not a one-off. There are so many people at CIG who are like that. So when I hear people like CIG developers are lazy, I'm like, these people are busting their ass. Like, these people will do some insane shit to keep Star Citizen running and do some things. And do things to keep the servers up and like before they had the automated versions of like the events. Before they had they're busting their ass. They have one ass between them. They're just like the male characters in Star Citizen. Yes. I lost my train of thought. Oh, the events. Before they had automated ways of kind of scheduling the events that were going on, someone just pushed a button. Someone's job was to push a button every hour to launch the event. They did that for a year. Felt so bad when I found that out. I'm like, so every time I was screaming about Jumptown or Xenothreat, it was some poor guy working on a Saturday pushing a button. Oh no. What I said was QPan was that Proxus was the QPan of his era, in the sense that you'll find QPan in every single Star Citizen stream all at once. Hey, Celine. CIG servers are Amazon servers, aren't they? Yes, they are. One button, not two or three. I don't know. I don't know how many buttons there was. But they had to manually launch it.
Victura just got a sub from Forged Horizons. Forged Horizons gifted a tier 1 sub to VICTURA.
Thank you so much, Forged Horizons, for gifting that sub to Victoria. You're both very important puppers, very impressive sisters. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. I imagine that whoever was job was to hi Celine, I saw you sneak in. I imagine whoever's job was to launch the events was like doing. I'm just imagining some poor animation guy who's like working on some rigging and he's got an alarm. It's like 5 minutes so he's to launch. It's like, ah, fuck, and he has to pause and then go over to the like go to the tool, bring up the tool, type in the command, hit enter, then go back to doing. He's just doing other work while that thing's going on. No. QPan doesn't open 100 tabs using chatbots. QPan is a chatbot. He's Chat GPT who's come back from the past, or back from the future to the past, to watch the development of Star Citizen. That's my current theory. He'd probably be confused. Okay, so Forge Horizon asks, I wonder how Henry Cavill would react if you recognized him from Squadron 42 and not from something like Superman and Geralt. He'd probably be like, what? What are you talking about? That was like, that what I just said was like before they had, like right when the events first came out. I think they stopped that within a year. They had a cool schedule, a full scheduling thing in the background. So, yeah, Mark Hamill will say something about Squadron 52 or 54. They'll remember it when they'll be reminded it when the game is closer to like push and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. But hey, Varian Clan, very Ken. Good night, there, Cobb. Have a good night. Mobiglas potential, but have a great night. Thanks for the stream and updates. Excited more about Starmap and Mobiglas potential than radiation stuff. I just have to make the jokes, okay, Night Cobb? Chris Roberts inviting Mark Hamill and Henry Cavill back and them replying with part 2. I think if Henry Cavill, if you reminded Henry Cavill that he was in a video game with Chris Roberts, he would be like, oh, I remember that game. I can't imagine I am a Warhammer 40K nerd as well, and I know how hard I am but a casual tourist compared to a lot of fans, and Henry Cavill is much more hardcore than I am. So I imagine there's too much knowledge in the brain, and then some stuff has to just get pushed out. And I imagine him being in a game, as acting in a game in 2012 was, or 2013, 2014 when the shoots were happening, almost a decade ago, is not the most important thing. Victoria, I leave it up to my own puppers to stab me in the back. E2 Brute. When he asked Star Wars or Star Trek, he said Star Citizen. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely hyped about it, but that was around the second Star Wars movie, the second new Star Wars film, which was like 5 years ago. Thank you, Celine. Thank you for based Celine voting Scorp over Deemer. I know you can't talk about it, so just ignore. Just a general question. I cannot for the life of me understand how games have a good star map, Starfield included. 3D maps just tend to get confusing. The issue with Star Citizen Star Map isn't necessarily that it's bad, it's just frustrating to use. Like the Elite Dangerous Star Map is simple, it's easy to read, it's fine. It's good for what it does. So like star maps being usable is what most people want. Most people aren't going to spend hours and hours and hours in the star map. And if they are going to be spending hours and hours in the star map for any game, that needs to be a really good experience. And with Star Citizen, it forces you to use a star map to do anything outside of basic combat. So it just becomes frustrating to use because it's so finicky and broken. Most Star Systems are mostly discs anyway. They're not very 3D. Yeah, but you know, you want to like be able to like holographic spin and manipulate because it's cool. It didn't used to be the only way. You could use the HUD holo map. I mean, I think that's what CIG is trying to do now is move away from your Mobiglas star map and move it more towards the ship systems, because that would open up for a navigator role on the ship to be able to like plot courses and scan and do other things like that with the star map and have it not be mostly into your Mobiglas. Especially with Squadron 42, you'd imagine you'd be able to access most of it through your ship systems. So it seems kind of weird to open up your Mobiglas, to open up your smartphone to program your destination for your military ship. I don't think F-16 pilots or even F-35 pilots are busting out their iPhones to figure out where they are.
You can take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers. But you can never, ever take away my space game.
Shinobi Trip _ just resubscribed for 7 months. Vote Terrapin. Bathe in characters yummy face.
Vote Terrapin, bathe in characters. Thank you so much, Shinobi, for that prime sub for 7 months. You're a very important pub, a very impressive pisser, very pedestrian. This is your fault. The reason we're drinking night. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Maverick, Siri, pilot a course to home. Yeah. Oh, I have Sandgroper. I'm just saying, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Henry's an admitted sexaholic. I don't know a lot about Henry Cavill other than he's an actor and is a nerd. That's about all I know. And he's in Squadron 42. Why is there a star map on your Mobiglas? It should be on your ship. Someone else pointed out that there's a lot of ships that aren't really ready for the Mobiglas, which is one of the reasons why they're trying to do the MFD rework. the MFD rework will also be a thing as part of this whole process, which is, they talk about it in the Squadron 42 monthly report a lot. I'm hoping will support more of that functionality. Yeah, good going to India. Do I think the hangar upgrades will cost, will come back to the pledge store? I don't think so. I think they're kind of where they are. Because it's kind of moved away from that, but. The fun part about Squadron 42's news was last month they when they did the monthly report, they talked about they're dealing with the edge cases. Like, for instance, you can just punch your commanding officer at the very beginning of Squadron 42, but instead of it being a fail state, they're working on you getting restrained, knocked out, restrained, and dragged to the brig and having to serve time in the brig for what you did. That's a Chris Roberts game. That's a Chris Roberts game. Like, real-time brig simulator. We're talking about the Mobiglas. There's a bunch of leaks about the Mobiglas, Starmap, and Galactipedia came out there, so. Hello and welcome. I used to hang you for that. But they're talking about that. So it's like, that's the kind of Chris Roberts experience from Wing Commander, that there's no real losses. You can fail a mission, but you keep going. You don't have to redo the mission. There's just branching story paths based off of what you do, which is what, to my understanding, is one of the reasons why Squadron 42 is so fucking big in terms of its time scale, because it's just so huge. So, ships are still selling with hangars. I find that odd. No, it's more that the thing about it is that ships need to have hangars in order for them to be stored. But the idea of buying separate hangars doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of the way the game is going. So, it's more of a, I'm sure that that'll change into whatever that it's going to work in the future. But it's just, they haven't bothered updating the website a lot for that sort of thing. I love the voice of Kleischer. Whoever the actor is who did Kleischer, if they're just like a CIG employee, hats off to you. I love that. That is the most, next to the Maria Pure of Heart and like voiceover stuff. Like, it is some of the best like personality of Star Citizen I've ever seen in the game. It's definitely corporate buzz talk. It's very dark humor. The that's why you say it's like Fallout. That's very much the same, cut from the same vein. Not as awesome as manned landings, but maybe a sign of renewed interest in space exploration from a history-wise perspective, Lore Master. Yes, definitely. I mean, India is 100% interested in space exploration. China is trying to get to the moon.
Puppy _ 1775 just had a space baby.
Thanks so much for that 9 months of support there, Pappy. 9 months of Twitch Prime. 9 months ago, you made the worst mistake you should ever make, which is you subscribed to a Twitch streamer. Now, 9 months later, our Twitch baby is born, our space baby is born. What shall we name our space child? Thank you for that. Now, hangers have some worth, to a degree. Because, I mean, you'll be able to place them in places so you don't have to pay for fees, but we don't have hanger fees yet, so... Just a few more days till Star Citizen, till Starfield drops. I can't wait to play. NDA. Just wait till they drop their PU bombshell this Christmas. We'll see if what they do for Star Citizen. Next month named Stanfield. This month it's Big Stompy Robot. I got Armored Core 6 and I'm waiting for Starfield. Yeah. Armored Core. I want to play it. I feel shitty. I feel happy but shitty. Yeah. It's a good year to be a RPG fan. There's a lot of RPGs between the BG3 and Starfield coming out. That first helicopter boss is a pain in the ass. It's from what I've heard from reviews, that first helicopter boss is a classic FromSoft boss where you have to kind of learn all the little bits of your of how your mech works in order to defeat it. You need to know how to use every bit of your all of the weapon systems you have and all of the techniques you can use, all of that to beat it, to destroy it. No, Doc Platypus. I'm only allowed to say that I have a review copy and that that the embargo lifts on August 31st, and I can talk more about it then. I'm asking why did you? I'm asking, but why didn't you? Why didn't you get AC6? Because of the Starfield early review copy I got, which I wasn't expecting. So I've been putting more work into that because I want to get a video out for just after the review embargo is gone. So I don't have time. That's the reason why. Yeah, from what I've seen from the reviews, is you have to take it down with melee, and then when it starts going through its different phases, you use your ranged weapons to try to keep it countered and stuff like that. So we'll be nice and stop bothering him about NDA. It was mostly a joke because and to also emphasize the fact that I can't really talk a lot about it, but. What's Armored Core? It's the developers who made the Dark Souls games. They originally got famous making mech games called Armored Core. So it's kind of like a mech, a third-person action mech game. I think it was first ones were made in the late 90s, early 2000s, around the mech craze. And then they stopped making it when they started doing Dark Souls, and now they're coming back to making Armored Core games again. So they've taken everything they learned from Dark Souls and applied it to their Armored Core experience. So you have to learn the boss attacks patterns. It's traditional FromSoft. They do it brilliantly. Yeah. Love the artwork you do for the stream, the gold, and it looks really cool. Thank you. A lot of this was designed by Darj, who's in chat right now, Darionator. A lot of this this background was done by a fan who was doing it for kind of a project, which is nice. So think Gundam mecha game. It's great. It's cut from the same cloth. It's more Gundam and less Mech Warrior, but it's kind of I find it a kind of a good cross between the two. It leans into the Mech Warrior when it needs to, but it's really much more of a traditional kind of Japanese. We need to find a term for these different types of mecha, because it's more arcadey than Mech Warrior, but it's faster paced. So. Did they make Steel Battalion? I didn't think they made Steel Battalion. Metal Wolf Chaos is amazing, by the way. Japanese only release, though, but it's all English voice acting because Murica. I've heard that thing is fucking nuts. 1997. Yeah, I knew it was late 90s. It was around the mecha craze. Around that time was when Mech Warrior was the shit. It was everywhere. So they had some mech mod using CryEngine. Yes, that was made by Sean Tracy and his brother. It's called Mech Warrior Living Legends. I miss Chromehounds too. They also made Chromehounds, which was their MMO mech game. I love Chromehounds. What does Sean Tracy do for CIG? I think he's the head of production for Arena Commander right now. But he's one of the main managers. He's one of the top bigwigs. He circles around to places that need his help. So, personally, I hope that if Starfield is anywhere near as good, everyone is hoping 50-75%, maybe that doesn't get the BG3 critique of it's too good. That behavior is shameful. I think the BG3 it's too good is more around the idea that BG3 took the time to make, the developers took the time to make the game and did so with passion, and that came through. BG3 feels like what Dragon Age should have felt like, in my opinion. And I'm not a big fan of Baldur's Gate. I didn't like 1 or 2 that much. And I'm looking at BG3 and being like, this looks and feels like what I wanted from Dragon Age. So, Sean Trace is a tools builder in it. I don't think he is right now. Right now he's working with the Arena Commander team. So, Dragon Age is good, and I've heard good things about Inquisition and stuff like that, but it always fell flat from my experience. It felt like the second it felt like the redheaded stepchild of Mass Effect, which it shouldn't be. It should have stood on its own. I have a soft spot for mecha. My introduction to pen and paper role-playing games was Mech Warrior. I love mecha. It is my one of the few things that anyone it was to the point where who was it? It was somebody. It's a Star Citizen streamer was tweeting about it at the time. Zero State was talking about how people always want to add mechs to sci-fi games, and it just feels bad. And I'm like, listen, I said, look, and Zero is like, you are the exception, Paul. I understand you have a fetish. It's like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. With passion and time, i.e., like Star Citizen with CIG with Star Citizen, to a degree. I don't know if the developers behind Baldur's Gate 3 did a lot of crunch or not, but they definitely took the time to craft the experience they wanted to, and they actually had several delays that they made, so it made sense. Stormhounds was developed by FromSoft and published by Sega. Yeah. That was my first FromSoft game. Probably my only FromSoft game. Speaking of MechWarrior Battletech, Tex has a new TTB coming this Saturday. Nice. Always love that. What do you think about the Starfield watch as a collector's edition item? Good choice, bad choice? Would you prefer a canvas bag? I have a smartwatch, so I don't really like have an addiction to those sorts of things. If they had a helmet, I'd buy it because that's my collector's item. But they don't, so. What's your favorite little piece of lore you've discovered in all of Star Citizen lore? I mean, I still think my favorite, the funniest bit of lore is the scientist who thought he invented faster than light travel and blew himself up in front of press. The guy who thought he was like a super genius and that he cracked the code behind faster than light travel. Was paranoid and refused anybody else to like help him build his machine. He built the machine, brought a bunch of press there, and declared that he was about to usher in a new age for humanity. Started up his engines and exploded, basically on live television. It's like, oh, it's fucking hilarious. It's a fully fledged smartwatch, at least. Music, weather, notifications, etc. Not a touchscreen, though. As for helmet, I don't think we've seen an iconic helmet yet. Nothing like Fallout Armor, NCR Ranger N7 helmet. We could do the helmet that you see in the box art. The helmet you see. I don't even know, like one of the characters. That's what the Quantum Drive wants you to think. That's what Big Quantum Drive wants you to think. Yeah. What if his FTL drive was just being replaced by an exact copy, except destroyed from another galaxy? My favorite theory behind that is that he did actually work. It's just a lot of things fell off. I was listening to one of your podcasts not long back. I had no clue how much Kruger has their hands in. Shame we don't get a larger lineup of ships from them. Yeah, they're fucking everywhere. Like, it's Kruger and there's another one that is pretty impressive. Oh, Bering. Kruger and Bering are two companies that are like, they're everywhere. Are you familiar with Visions of Flone? I've heard Flone, but I don't remember. I don't like it. It sounds familiar. Maybe because it's a mech game, and I probably or anime or something like that, and I've seen it that way. But I can pull up the box art. This is the one that's the iconic one. I think the one that I'm talking about. This one. Just on Reddit. This one. Like, you've seen this thing, like this helmet right here. I'd buy that. I'd buy that fucking in a second. It's in all the trailers and stuff like that too, so. Ha! That's funny. That's funny, Forged Horizons. Just like we get Vandal rubber mask and helmet in Star Citizen, in Starfield you can get a Todd Howard rubber mask helmet. Ugh, if only. Here you go. Those, I'll show you the super special box art that was given to me by Forged Horizons. Both Jared and Galactica went to it. Galactica tweeted about it. Jake said that they saw the booth, but they didn't go in. Does anyone else think the spaceman from Starfield looks like Shia LaBeouf and Just Do It guy? I guess, I don't know. I get that the Jack O'Neill, the Nomad, but I mean, honestly, there are two ways to look at that with Star Citizen. You can either get mad about it and stick around, or move on. Like, there's plenty of games I've backed which turned out to be they just fucked up and exploded. And just like, I could get super mad about them, or I can just be like, yeah, I tried it. It seemed interesting. Backed it, it failed. Oh well, move on. Does Todd Howard deserve the flack he gets? He seems okay with me. I don't know the history. Todd has a bad history of overpromising and under-delivering. I think it's partially earned, but I don't think it's fully earned. Because a lot of what Todd says is similar to a lot of other big name developers with big names in the industry that, like, their names get attached to it. It's like Sean Murray and other people like that as well. No, he's not Peter Molyneux. Peter Molyneux will just straight up lie to your face. Todd. Who's Tom? Todd, yeah, Todd. Tom Riddle? Tom Spector is my favorite dev. Warren Spector is my favorite dev, yeah. But the point is like, there's ways to healthily deal with stuff like this, and there's ways to unhealthily deal with it. And if you're like really pissed at Star Citizen, like you're just like, this game is absolutely like atrocious. It's awful. Like I think they're lying to people. The honest to God best result, and this is gonna sound like counterintuitive, is just to stop following the game. And this is not me being like, oh, I don't want you to follow the game. It's just that the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is apathy. And by paying attention to the game and driving like engagement by commenting on YouTube videos, or going to Twitch streams, or going to like Reddit or other places and engaging in conversations with Star Citizen fans, all you're doing is promoting the game more. So if you're just like, this game's a scam, it's terrible, I hate what it's become, stop engaging. Simple as. It sounds like a weird thing, but like that's how the algorithms work. It's why CIG will never. It's why CIG calls its fans passionate. Even people who constantly rag on the game, because they know they're driving engagement. Like, CIG makes more money, continues to make money, and sometimes has boosts in sales when they have negative press, because at least they spelled the name right. Like, that's the reality. It's just like, I'm not coming up with like crazy shit. This is just the way the world works. I don't enjoy how often we seem to get attach a game's success to one specific producer, designer, director, designer. I agree with you, Caffeinated Fiend. I'm a believer that games are collaborative art, and it requires a fuck ton of people to make a good game work. And while a director is important, a director is the captain of a ship. The whole crew is what actually makes that ship function. So, if funding went up after the PTU change. Shh, let Star Citizen enjoy the free marketing. I just don't enjoy it on my on my feeds. The amount of people when CIG does something stupid, I'm the one who gets the comments like screaming at me about what Star Citizen has done, what CIG has done. And I have to constantly, like, if you see me post a message on like YouTube, a reply that just says, "Sir, this is a whammers," what I'm telling you is this is completely off topic for what the video is. What the fuck are you on? If you want to complain, do that to CIG directly, not to me. I usually watch the Andrew Joe Weekly news video, but I skipped this week's because I knew he was going to do a quarter informed rant on PTU changes. Ain't Joe still doing stuff? I know, I never said it was a scam. I love and play it, but they need to pull their heads out of their asses. I was playing full time until 3.17 hit. I was part of the Star Citizen back before 3.0. Jack, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I get you're frustrated, but like there are times when it's like it's just not worth it. Like I have experienced Star Citizen burnout. I am fully into Star Citizen burnout because content is down. There are other things I'm focused on, and I've focused on those things. Focus on NDA. Yes, I am focusing on NDA. And Armored Core 6 when that comes out. And work. And my wife and I have been going through Succession because it was suggested to her by a coworker, and I suffered through the first couple of episodes of that series. I understood why people like it, but like, God, that was hard to get through. It got better afterwards, but it was like, God damn. Starfield soon. Armored Core 6 is out. Baldur's out now. Baldur's Gate. Yeah, you're gamers. It's a fucking buffet. Finally, some good fucking food, as the meme goes with games, not just like Call of Duty clones or Call of Duty like 1,000. Complain to Paul because Paul always listens, right? I'm not fucking Frasier. You're good, Jack. Don't worry about it, buddy. I'm just kind of giving you my perspective on it because it can get fucking hard to like watch it's like to be the therapist for people who are having struggles with CIG. Do a face expression. Do a face expression review. Break the Star Citizen or Starfield NDA. Maybe, I don't know. Not so much mini games, but so far mini games that are not broke at launch. I mean, Armored Core 6, I've, like from the reviews, from the pre-reviews, sounded great. Baldur's Gate 3, I've heard is fucking nuts. So like Starfield coming out, that's a new experience that no one's had before, really. You don't really see space RPGs like that anymore. Like, Tomato and I talked about it recently. It's like the closest thing kind of even compare it to is Mass Effect, and Mass Effect wasn't open world. So like, that's cool as shit. Like, Finally, a selection of quality meals. I know what you mean. Yeah. It's intense to listen to the complaints for sure. Like, Salty Mike is great for that. Yeah. My hype for Starfield is dead. Zero chance of Bethesda getting anywhere near the quality of an RPG that is BG3. I think that's an unfair comparison because they're not going for the same experience. Like, BG3 is more of a kind of classic, from what I gather, some semi-isometric experience. And it's, again, it's like a more of a classic RPG experience, where Starfield is much more of a Bethesda experience. You know, it's easy to see that from the release views. So, like, it's not trying to be BG3. It's like the people who are comparing Star Citizen and Starfield. Like, they're completely different experiences. I have seen the live action trailer. Looks good. Sits an Elite Dangerous player. Say it louder. Yeah.
You want jams?
Did I speak to the devil and he shall arrive? No, it's good. Hey, Fairasalt. Welcome everyone from Pharaoh Street. My name is Paul Berserker1 Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender at the AstroPub, your space bar at the end of the galaxy. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We got a good one for you. No, I was talking about somebody else. We can talk about you. Mostly people have been banging on me because they're like, what do you think about Starfield? I'm like, well, I can't talk about it because of NDA. I'll do my best to try to, but... So people have been like, so Paul, how's the NDA? Is it NDAing and NDAing and NDAing? Why do people always compare unrelated games? My theory stems to the fact that most of us have experiences being broke-ass gamers. And, you know, not a lot of people have $65 or now $75 kind of, or $70 or $80 rolling around in spare change to be able to buy an experience. So people really want, if they're buying a game for full price, they want to make sure it's the game that they can play for the budget that they have. And to do that means that they're going to be very competitive as to not lose, to not get the wrong game for the season, because then they feel like they're fools for getting a game that wasn't the hot shit. And that mentality kind of has continued to breed in video games, where you have to get the not shitty game. It's the crux of the console wars, where like people want to get the winning console for the year. So thanks, Alex Jones. What are your thoughts on tuna melts? It's part of the Illuminati. There, Alex Jones. Paul's baloney is his first name, and it's NDA. I've stopped expecting Blizzard to make good games. They make fine games. They're okay. That's what the Bilderbergs want you to think. Every time Starfield's brought up, a small part of my brain thinks that Beth got triggered by the sitcom where CR kept comparing Skyrim to the crater in the asteroid. Armored Core 6, BG3, Starfield, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. I'm busy until next year. Yeah, it's a lot. I forgot. Yeah, and Cyberpunk, which is another, semi-RPG experience. Nice deflection. Let me guess. NDA? Yes, NDA. When it comes to Starfield. Need to keep an eye out at SitCon for all the Starfield watches. I'm sure it'll happen. Like, the reality is, as I've said earlier, I think a lot of people who enjoy Star Citizen will enjoy space games in general. I know there are people in this chat right now who play Elite Dangerous, who have played No Man's Sky, who played Eve, who played Mass Effect, will play Mass Effect, will play Starfield when it comes out. Like, because we enjoy space. Like, with a lot of us are the little kids. Some of us actually grew up watching the moon landings. Other of us remember the space shuttle launches or the International Space Station or the landings on Mars, or we just like space shit. Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Babylon 5, Firefly, all of that shit. We love that thing, so.
You want jams?
Oh, thank you so much for that that raid there, Dark Hour 717. You are a very important pubber. Welcome, everyone. This is the Office Hours. This is a live stream where we talk about Star Citizen. We've been talking a lot about other games too, but it's kind of how this goes. We all have the little blue Lego man in our. Yes, we all have Charlie Day screaming spaceship in our hearts. We're kind of wrapping up here, so. You mean the soundstage they acted landing on? It was great, very realistic. Some of us play Star Trek Online while watching Twitch. Yeah, I mean, I wish it was a little better, but I do like Star Trek Online. I won't watch much of Starfield for spoilers, though. I mean, when I play it, I'll do my best to play a non-spoilers, just to steer away from spoilers and do most of the kind of side content. Just because I know people would rather not do the main plot or other things like that. Downloading Armored Core 4, my first experience with mech games. Treat it less like a mech game and more like a Dark Souls game in a different skin. And you'll probably have a better experience, or that sort of game. Finally, started from scratch. The game is downloading now. Good to hear that, Chris. Can we normalize not telling streamers I won't watch you because spoilers? Yeah, that does kind of like stab you. It does make streamers less likely to stream games. That's one of the reasons why I don't stream a lot of single player games, because people go, "Oh, I'd love you, Paul, but I'm never going to watch you play a single player game because, that just came out, because I don't want to be spoiled." It's like, God fucking damn it. I'm definitely going to be doing because you're spoiling your NDA. I'm definitely be doing adding Starfield to the rotation for streaming, but I'm also going to be doing things like lore, like hunting for lore and hunting for little pieces of information and stuff like that. Tits aren't real. Do my best. Hey, New Soul, how you doing? It's happening. Yeah, no, nothing's happening since I got a review copy of Starfield. I've been bad at everything. So now, if I can only combine MechWarrior 5 with Star Citizen, drop an Atlas mech on the Daymar from an Idris. Fuck, that is my dream. Add some O'Neill cylinders into Star Citizen for like space colonies and mwah, like Elite has. Give me some of those bad boys in Star Citizen. Explorable. Oh, mechs, O'Neill cylinders. Oh yes. Whew. What's your thoughts on the whole T? I mean the whole C from the leaks. It's a penis. Paul, what do you think From Software's next game will be? An Elden Ring sequel? I would venture to guess FromSoft is going to do something new, something they haven't done before. I think they're done chasing trends and are more interested in kind of exploring what they can make. Yeah, you can deliver it to us. We got plenty of stuff like that. I'll watch you. I don't play single player games. My first actual game was EverQuest, so oh, nice. Yeah, you can talk to anybody in the league, Caffeine, and they'll help you out. For sure. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, before I head out, my favorite types of my favorite type of universe for science fiction is semi-hardcore, semi-hard sci-fi. So nothing that's like actually hard sci-fi, but like painted in hard sci-fi colors. You know, O'Neill cylinders, dome cities, underground cities, effects. Think like something like The Expanse. Mixed with mecha, giant stompy robots. You give me those two things, mwah. I will love you forever. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the mods for Starfield as well. Those will be interesting. Question, what will be first, Starfield 1.0 or Starfield multiplayer mod? That's a good question. Because Skyrim Together exists, so I imagine that people who use the Skyrim Together, who did the Skyrim Together mod, could do something similar for Starfield. I don't think it's going to be day one, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like that effectively was hacked in within the first year. It really depends on how Starfield loads and unloads stuff, so. I think I've heard a lot of people be like, well, Star Citizen's dead because there'll be a Starfield multiplayer mod. I'm like, it's never going to be the same. It's not going to be the same as Star Citizen. It's not trying to be, so like having that with friends won't be as interesting, I don't think. Because of the engine. The framework for multiplayer already exists-ish for Starfield because of the engine. Because Fallout 76 has some of that stuff. And there has been multiplayer mods in the past. But it really depends on how the game functions. It may not function in a similar way to other games have. So, hey, Shingo, how you doing? Starfield multiplayer could literally be just a few around the corner within 12 months. Modders are amazing human beings. They are, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same kind of experience you'll have with Star Citizen. How much time did you waste under NDA recently? Asking for a friend. You can check my Steam. I have it on Steam. That's the reason why I posted it on Twitter. It's like, people are gonna find out anyways. I talked about it on Space Tomatoes podcast, and I talked about it on my Discord. But I was like, yeah, I just might as well put it out there because someone's gonna ask me about it on stream at some point. I don't doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Star Citizen gun mods in Starfield. Oh, we're gonna see that too. Yeah, we'll see all of the IPs. I'm trying to think about that. That would also be interesting if they modded in Star Citizen ships into Starfield, and since like they added parts for like parts that you could slot in that would be like the Carrack's interior or whatever. Mod by Connie into Starfield. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Starfield, FromSoft doesn't rush sequels. We are still begging FromSoft and Sony for Bloodborne 2 8 years later. They kind of rushed Dark Souls. Like I said, they're beyond the Dark Souls age where they had to like pump out Dark Souls games because it was making them a lot of money. Because I believe Dark Souls 2 came out fairly quickly after Dark Souls 1. And Dark Souls 3 after that. And then they just slowed them down because they slowed down because like, fuck it, we got money. We can make this good. So, there's always a Star Wars mod. I'm excited for Cyberpunk expansion to even think about Starfield. That works too. How quickly would you make the Redeemer? No. Get out, Celine. No. God damn it, C Daddy. So which ships instead? I mean, the Connie would make sense. I'd expect Cutlass to come out, Freelancer. I'd imagine something like the Corsair or the Caterpillar. Maybe the Idris. Idris is pretty big though. Like Idris is huge. Everyone's still begging for Bloodborne on PC. Not really any Star Citizenship. I don't think you could do. The scale is off for something like the Aurora or the fighters. Star Citizen fighters are really small in comparison to a lot of a lot of space scaled ships. No, I think the Fury is too small. Paul, too early to give your CitizenCon predictions. The only thing I can tell you about CitizenCon is that we'll talk a lot about Pyro, and then I believe they'll talk about Squadron 42 in some capacity. Likely either an announcement that they're going into beta soon or a full-blown release date or release window announcement for it, for Squadron 42. I'm going to pitch my probably trash maybe Idris mission this year. This time they'll have to listen, right? Maybe. Road to Pyro year 5. I mean, it's likely going to be the thing. The Road to Pyro again. I mean, what else would they do? Like, I don't see them having anything else other than talking more about Pyro. Paul, FromSoft have not developed their trademark style. Souls franchise, Bloodborne, Sekiro, now they're milking Elden Ring. Have not stopped their trademark style. Well, I mean, Armored Core 6 is what I mean. Like, Armored Core 6 is a return to their old franchise. It's moving it's still kind of in the similar style, but it's moving away from the traditional kind of like fantasy sort of hack and slash stuff. And I think the fact that they did Armored Core 6 tells me that they're getting tired of it and they kind of want to do other things. So, yeah, we'll also see 42. We'll definitely see an announcement of Squadron 42's price change, so. It's been a long road getting from there to here. C Daddy would know. C Daddy's the one who puts that shit on the fucking website. So he's probably just cackling to himself like, hey, these people don't even know. So I'm hoping they do a demo of the new massive UGFs. Probably. This year is next up. It's Nyx. Man, I'm excited for Nyx because Nyx. This is gonna sound fucked up, but Nyx is entirely boring, and that sounds great to me because like its lore is effectively it's boring, which is why nobody pays attention to it, and because no one pays attention to it because it's boring, it has a lot of like like not really rebel, but not even insurgent counterculture activities there. So, well, when was Armored Core 5? Armored Core 5 was like before Demon Souls, wasn't it? It's been years since Armored Core games came out. Like a decade? 2012? That's a long ass break. It took a Star Citizen break. Because Armored Core 5 was when Star Citizen was announced. was kickstarted. And it just came back, and it's been fucking what? 11 years now? Could Nyx be our Beltalowda, Genesis, and the verse? Sort of. I mean, it's at the edge of a dark nebula, so there's going to be new cloud tech that they'll have to put in there, but it's also mostly empty places, which will be filled with like insurgents and rebels, and so it'll feel very different from everything we've seen before. It'll feel like a chill version of Pyro, where like you're not going to walk around and like get ganked by pirates every 5 seconds, but you might have to sit there and listen to someone quote Marx at you. Which might be hell for some people in Star Citizen, for a lot of people in the Star Citizen universe. But I think it'll be neat. It'll be neat to see a bunch of space hippies with guns. Angry armed communists. It's gonna look like Austin, which is why I'm kind of excited about it. It'll be CIG's take on Austin. Space Zapatitas in the Belt, People's Alliance of Levski, two different but important things. Yeah, that's true. We've kind of the two different sides, but it's a very different feel.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Nyx feels like a political exile sort of like cooking pot. It's a melting pot of different political extremists. Whereas Pyro feels like a place where gangs hang out.
Drugs.
Essentially, we have weirdo anarchists at Levski and Futuro Marxists. Yeah, to a degree. The people who live outside of the People's Alliance of Levski are like fringe, ultra-violent groups. So.
This shit, I'm out.
Oh no, we get to see what CIG thinks of anarchists. Yeah, I think it'll be more than... you'll be pleasantly surprised, I think. The writing team is pretty good in what they do. I do like what's it? Elswin? The constantly stoned ATC operator of Delamar, of Levski. He actually has a lot of voice lines where he's just chilling and talking with you. Like there's entire dialogue trees you can have with him, and he's so fucking amazing. He sounds like every pseudo revolutionary who just really wants to get high. It's like, man, we're gonna go liberate all of the people of the world from capitalist oppression. After that's done, I'd love to go see another concert. It's been a while, but you know, we gotta get the movement needs us first, man. Like, fuck yes, I love this guy. Elzen Mackin, is that it? Eslin? I can't remember his name. Do you know anything about crash reports not being received by CIG? I think Salty Mike mentioned it momentarily, but I can't find anything elsewhere. Every so often, if you try to send a crash report, it says it's not able to send it through, but I haven't seen anything recently, so. And that thread, a dev later got the report from the person. Salty just didn't see it, I figure. Oh, okay. Crash reports are different from posting something on the issue council. Yeah, well, there's a crash reporter that'll pop up if you crash, and you can like type in what you were doing when it happened, hit submit, and then it'll automatically submit for you. Starmap leak? Yes. So in the latest, some of the latest builds for the Evocati, they scraped some of the new code, and there's code found specifically for the Mobiglas 2.0, including code for the Starmap, the new Starmap. So that was nothing visual yet, but it's there. Which is a good sign. It doesn't mean we're going to see it in 320, but it does mean that we're probably going to see it shortly after that, either 321 or 4.0 or whatever. I think it's probably more like 4.0. That's awful. Where I know is the Pipeline Discord. They're a crew that has a lot of those sorts of leaks. You talk about the pirate paint leaks? I haven't, but they look cool. They look like more steel than they do black. But yeah, it's okay. You made me yawn. Stop it. Well, I gotta get off for this one there. There's a inspection post apparently, but I can't find it. I hinted that CIG hadn't been receiving them. According to Macton, they have. It just was updated later. I think you can just find it on the like Discord links and stuff like that. You can't get a good one? Oh, I don't know where would find it. No, the links I found were valid. None of the links we found you found it. Oh, okay. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching us. I'm gonna head out to bed. But thank you for watching. I'll be back on Saturday, possibly. We haven't had anybody for the captain's table for this one because the theme was what the hell is going on with Squadron 42. So I may have to cancel captain's table this week, but this Saturday we'll have the Squadron 42 monthly report, which I failed to edit and put up there, so that'll be put up this Saturday to get that done. And there will be more content, probably not on Sunday because I also got to get some other stuff, but there'll definitely be the Starfield timeline lore video that I've been working on. That'll definitely be up by Saturday to get that out there. So, again, thank you all for hanging out and watching us. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black. Find someone to raid. Is Zero State still streaming? No, he's not.
Hey there, welcome to the channel. I'm Zero.
Hi, Zero. God damn it. You know, I'm gonna raid Captain Richard because he's doing a
yeah, the quest for a quack.
He's doing a
Whack.